Hello there! This is a very quick video on something that I made. I don't actually have a lot of time to be making new cannons, to be making this video, but I'm setting up a new computer and this is just my check for the recording software and the editing software. Since 1.18.2 there's been a big change in triangles, and it's actually been around for longer, but 1.18.2 kind of stabilized it to be the same for east, west, north and south. It always takes Y first and then it goes to the side that has the most velocity, which is the opposite of what the old east-west patch did. This means that adjustable cannons with a bit of range are really inefficient and can waste a lot of their power that they have on adjusting, which is not always needed. So this is a way of adjusting in both X and Y or Z and Y without actually doubling the amount of power that you need. It's similar to an old concept that basically looked the same as this. This cannon is a tunneler. It's used for J-rating, the weird thing with the flying machines that I did on Complex and that people apparently are still doing. It has a range of about 30 chunks. It's not super powerful, but I mean it works. A quick explanation on what a tunneler is it can make a really big hole really quickly because of TNT and how it behaves. TNT basically moves first and then explodes if it's in motion. This is also the same reason why swing happens, which is TNT exploding in multiple locations at once. So what happens is, this is the projectile, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 game ticks. These are all timed differently, slightly differently. And one TNT will explode, which means it gets shot out of here, it'll make a hole. Then the next TNT explodes within the same game tick, and it travels first and then explodes. So it goes into the hole that the previous one made, blows that up, second one, you know. That all looks a bit like this. So basically how this barrel works is, it's really simple. This is the power right here. That'll get shot into that block and aligned to the left side, where I'm facing right now. So it got shot into this block, it's sitting on this ladder. Then this is the projectile, that'll get shot in here. You can see there's a grindstone, which is, what is it, 1 or 2 pixels lower than a full block. I think it's 2 pixels. This has been a while since I made this prototype. I haven't actually tested if this works in all directions or anything, it's just a concept showcase. But then what happens is both the power gets shot forward, aligned to this side, the projectile gets shot forward, aligned to that side and a little bit higher, and it's timed perfectly so it falls for the right amount of blocks where the power lands on the floor and the projectile just hasn't hit the floor yet, it's just like slightly above it. And then the explosion center of a piece of TNT is on the upper edge of the bottom pixel, which means it's 0.06125 blocks above a regular Minecraft block. But TNT gets affected from its bottom, like the actual bottom, so 0 on the floor. That's why the old cubic way of having everything inside of one block but aligned to the bottom and aligned to the top will not work anymore, because that difference is not enough to shoot anything up in these newer versions. I don't know if I'm a fan of this, but it is what it is. So this cannon has a range of 30 chunks. That's about this far. But we can easily add some range, because what this does basically is it uses all of this power to shoot TNT forward. It'll be moving in here, and then this is the end of the first game tick. You can see that because there's a larger hole. I don't know if that's very visible, but that's the end of the first game tick. So it doesn't matter how much TNT we add to the first game tick of travel, everything that hasn't destroyed a block there will end up in this position. So then one game tick later there's a lot of other TNT, and that goes on. And this looks like a slightly larger hole again. So that's the end of the second game tick, the end of the third game tick, the end of the fourth game tick. I actually don't really remember why exactly I set it up like this, but again, this is not meant to be used, it's just meant to show you. But what you should know is that if you have a button and you lead it directly into a piston, so this button goes into this redstone powers this piston directly, it will actually add a game tick. A normal single piston, if it's powered through a repeater, will have a delay of around 1 tick, or 2 game ticks. 1 redstone tick, 2 game ticks. This also adds a tick, the observer. That's also 2 game ticks. But so the button goes in here, and instead of being a delay of 2 ticks, this piston adds a delay of 3 game ticks for 1.5 redstone tick, and that's why these 2 sides are offset. This side is the even side, the first game tick of the tunneler. This is the uneven side, because it gets an extra game tick. So the order that it will be going in is this one will tunnel, then this one will tunnel, then this one will tunnel, then this one will go. So if we add a tick to this side, that means that in the first game tick it's not going to tunnel, because there's no TNT that's exploding in the first game tick, but we'll add a game tick of range. So, this is awkward. Alright, that should do the trick. I'll just speed 10 my way over there. Grab a little chunk loader real quick. So if I fire now, this should tunnel 1 more game tick than it did before. There you go. So now this is a 5 game tick tunneler, but in the first game tick, it doesn't do anything. If we place a block here, there's nothing actually tunneling. So we can put a second block here, and this second one should not get destroyed, because there's no tunneling happening in the first tick, the first game tick. So now it's just all gonna hit that. See, this one is fine. So to undo that, we just take off that little. Ooh, that's not gonna work. You know what? Fuck it. You saw it before. So now, if we want to add another game tick of range, we can just add another repeater. And then it's gonna not tunnel in the first 2 ticks, but it's gonna tunnel 1 tick more. I did something wrong. Or I just forgot to remove this little pillar in the middle. Yeah, that was probably it. Let's just check it out again. Hey! So this is now the end of the 6th game tick, which usually isn't included. You can include all of these game ticks though. You can just add a little bit more TNT here, or stack it on top of there, like your 5th and your 6th game tick, like I just did. Or your 8th, or your 9th, or 11th, your whatever. You can add as many as you want, but do know there is a slight drop in range with every game tick that you do, because there is drag resistance on your projectile. That's how tunnelers work, that's how you can adjust them if you have to. Just in this case, I had to make sure that I wasn't running a 2-tick signal, a signal that isn't 2 ticks long, because that would mess with the observer wiring. That's why I had to add some extra blocks here instead of just adding a tick like that. So how to sideways adjust it? You can just move these blocks, and now it's gonna shoot in here. Your power is gonna hit this corner, fall down to the floor. Your projectile is gonna hit this corner and land slightly above the floor. Oh, something that I haven't explained yet is TNT entity is slightly smaller than a full block. I might be able to show that like this. Nope, I won't be. But a TNT entity, a sand entity as well, is actually only 98% the size of a full block. And that 2% might not seem like a lot, but that 2% makes a difference on whether it's on this side of the block or this side. I'm also quickly gonna fire with cannon debug on, and then you guys should be able to see the exact height that it is falling at. Alright, so you can see it fall in the barrel right here, falling down for... Alright, so here it hits the back wall, starts falling, so that's 1 tick of delay, 2 ticks of delay, 3 ticks of delay, 4 redstone ticks of delay, and then you can see it's at 0.068, and the explosion center is 0.06125. So that's a difference of 0.7 whatever, 0.6 whatever, I don't care. So that's a difference of about that. in Y. Is it? Whatever. I already forgot. And then the sideways difference, as I said, was 2%, so that's 0.02. These are all very small numbers, but that basically you can see that works. So one is to the back, one is to the front, one is slightly more up, and that creates this effect. How far you can adjust sideways depends on this booster. So if you add more booster here, you can just make that tunnel a bit longer. This is just an arbitrary length that I chose. So I don't actually know if this is the limit. But then it goes up. It doesn't go sideways because all of the sideways velocity has been cancelled by shooting it into this block, or into this block, or into this block, or into this block. You get the point. And then it just goes up as much as you want, and we'll tunnel that one right there. Before I do that, I need to revert the changes that I made. And then we should be good to fire. So now it's gonna go into there, up in here. Boom! There we go, new tunnel. This will, in this setup, again, I'm not releasing it or anything. Oh, I might be releasing it, like Medic and Schematic, just so you can, like, look at the way this is set up. But it's not meant to be actually, like, used on cannoning, except if you're tunneling flying machines, because this amount of TNT is not enough to be tunneling stone. If you do want to be tunneling stone, that means that you need more TNT per game tick. So you can either make these a lot more powerful and use a slightly different setup for that, or just reduce your power, because then the length of each game tick gets slightly shorter. So that amount of power, I forgot to count it, is between that slightly bigger hole and that slightly bigger hole. If you take out some of the power, if you reduce it by half, you're gonna get the next hole right there. And this distance with the same amount of TNT means that you're gonna be able to do more damage to blocks. Now I understand that this is all like pretty complicated shit if you're not familiar with cannons or terminology. I do plan on making more videos, but I have planned on making more videos for like over half a year, and I haven't. So don't expect me to be making more videos, but just subscribe so you do get a notification. I will explain some more stuff and why I do certain cannoning things the way that I do. And I don't know, I might have some findings that you might find interesting. So yeah, subscribe if you want to see more videos like these, and just to show that you appreciate whatever this is. Leave a like if you are going to use something like this. That's, you know, you're required to like it if you're gonna use it. And you should use it, because this is a very cheap way to still adjust without wasting a lot of TNT on sideways velocity. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.